we're going to work through a few quick QL stretches. So your quadratus lumborum is what's going to help alleviate that low back pain. So these are the bands of muscle that run from the back of your lower ribs all the way down to the back of your pelvis and connect into the spinal column. So everything that we're doing today, we're going to run through quick. I'm going to go just on one side. So if there's a right side, obviously you'll take the left side. And you'll want to hold each of these for at least 10 slow breaths to really get settled in and kind of tune into the sensation that you're feeling, especially in that low back and even into the side body area. So our first stretch is a standing side bend. So I'm going to place my right foot forward and then cross my left foot back behind. So we're getting a little bit of that cross stance. And then with my right foot forward, I'm going to take my right arm up and over. Left hand can just come across your body. So as we find that side reach, you actually want to hinge forward slightly, leaning into that flexion and reach up and over. So you're supposed to feel this down your side body and into that low back. You can take your gaze up or wherever it's comfortable and just get a few slow breaths there. And repeat that on the second side. From there, we'll come into triangle pose. So feet in a perpendicular stance, front toes facing forward, back toes facing out to the side, arms to a T, hinging forward, and then stacking the arms. So you can stay in this traditional kind of triangle, just reaching open and lengthening through your spine. This will give you that low back release as we lengthen. This also is a pose that you can take rotated. So in your revolved triangle, if you wanted to bring that top hand down and then open to the opposite side. This is a place sometimes where it's nice to have support, so even that hand to a chair or down to a block as you twist in. All right, we're gonna come down to the mat now. So the next one that I have in a lot of my classes is our child's pose. So we'll take the knees wide, big toes to touch, hips to heels, crawling your fingers forward and then reaching over to one side. So you wanna come up to the fingertips, crawl forward first. So we find that length, that first little pull, and then walk your hands over to one side. So as I crawl my fingers to the right, starting to feel that tug down the left side body, and then you can settle in here, just kind of sink into your own weight. Taking those slow and steady breaths, staying here at least 10 breaths, and then taking it over and repeating on that second side. Next, we'll come onto our seat, bring the legs open to a straddle shape, and then you can bend one knee here. So I'm keeping my right leg extended, bending my left knee, sitting up nice and tall. You can slide your same hand down that extended leg, and then opposite arm coming up and over, kind of into this dangling reach. So you can either actively reach toward those toes or let your arm drop heavy, either by getting that same tug down the side body into the low back and just dropping in for a little bit of time. Take that on each side. And then we're gonna come to our 90-90 position. So I'm gonna bring my right shin parallel to the front of my mat and my left thigh parallel to my right shin. So we wanna have that 90-degree angle in both knees. Taking a moment to reset. It's gonna feel a little funky sometimes on your hips that they're not fully grounded. You can always pick up your hips, set them back down. Starting in a neutral position, you can kind of play with just leaning into this one a little bit, checking in here. And then we're gonna add a little thread and twist today. So my right leg is in front, I'm gonna bring my right hand out to the side. Breathe in to stretch the left arm up, and then exhale, physically twisting to the right and leaning in as I reach under. So breathing in to come up, breathing out to twist and lean into it. So this is one that will take nice and slow. And again, getting at least those 10 breaths so you start to make a little space and find your end range of motion, stretching into that low back. All right, last one here, coming down onto your back. We'll cross right ankle to left thigh. So starting in our figure four shape, this is probably familiar to a lot of you, but instead of dropping into our twist, letting those legs fall to the left, we're actually gonna drop the legs to the right. So my right foot, my ankle that's on my left thigh is gonna guide the inside of my left knee down toward the floor. So this is gonna feel weird, it's gonna feel funky as we get that twist in the low spine, and just let the legs fall heavy here. So you can do this with your ankle on your thigh, or if it feels better, you can just have the knees stacked and let your legs drop in that way. Either way, we're letting the inside of that lower leg, that knee, drop toward the floor. You can keep your gaze kind of neutral on this one, just slowly letting the legs drop. So give that a try. on both sides, and hopefully you find that spending some time in these stretches releases some of that tension in your low back and just helps you feel a little more mobile in your day.